Hello, and welcome to the Smut Show,
a weekly podcast from your new internet book besties.
We discuss all things spicy books and mix in a little bit of motherhood, life, self-care, and everything in between.
So sit back,
grab a beverage,
and let's chat.
Hello, and welcome to the Smut Show. I'm Neely.
And I'm Rachel, and today we have Chelsea Cole on the podcast with us today. She is a food blogger and the author of A Feast of Thorns and Roses, Everyday Sous Vide, and Sous Vide Meal Prep. She's been blogging at aducksoven.com for more than 10 years.
You'll find her just outside of Portland, Oregon, hopefully in her kitchen with a big glass of, I'm going to so mispronounce this, Willamette Valley red wine and sous videing salmon her husband caught this week. Guys, there's so much happening in this kitchen.
So much to unpack here.
Unwinding after a day of recipe development, food photography, and marketing freelance work. She has a lot going on.
You have a lot going on.
Just a little.
Tell us how badly we butchered that wine.
So it's a region, Willamette. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Willamette Valley. It's a big wine region in the Pacific Northwest.
Wow. Listen, I'm not
Willamette.
No.
Oh,
if you come to Oregon, you can't say that.
Oh, God.
You'll get in big trouble.
So apologies to all of our Oregon listeners.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
for just totally botching that.
Northwest, we're Southern. Just like
there are several towns in Texas that
blame it all on our roots.
Yes, yeah. The same thing will happen. So we get it.
It's a common mispronunciation, so you at least have that for you.
Well, okay. And here's the deal. I have a background in reading specialty, like teaching elementary school kids how to read, and I'm like that division, that syllable division there is that's
tricky.
Some funky division.
Yeah. My poor dyslexic child would never. He'd be like,
absolutely not.
I'm not
I give
trying.
up. No.
I have stopped now. Okay, hi. Welcome.
Okay, hi.
This is
Thank you.
Welcome. For everyone listening, you know that if Rachel and I are recording about this time of day, I'm on coffee number 3. If I sound unhinged, I am.
Yeah.
So,
but what's new, really, Neely?
Nothing. New? I mean, I pretty much always sound like this. So,
just hyped up on some coffee.
I'm jealous. I am super pregnant, so watching the caffeine intake at the moment, a little, but not like going crazy.
Yeah.
But so
I don't think I did that.
July. End of July. Wow. So I guess it's my second, so I feel super pregnant, but I'm not as pregnant as I'd like to be.
Yeah.
Not as far.
That's so real.
Still got so much to go.
At least you live somewhere that's not blazing hot, because I was at my most pregnant with my daughter in the summer, and it does not get cold here till like November, and we're in November, so I mean it was like
brutal.
For a long time. And I just would not wish that upon anyone. Being pregnant in the summer is for the birds. So
luckily, like my son was also end of July baby. His birthday and this due date is 3 days apart. So I know the drill. I know. Let's see what happens there.
Double birthday parties for everyone.
Oh,
so my girls are about 2.5 weeks birthday apart in March and April, and so we've done double birthdays. They're 6 and 8 now, and we've done double birthdays every year. And then this year they were like, next year we want our own birthday party. I was like, okay.
I figure once they want like a friend birthday, then it's like, okay, we'll do them separate. But while it's like family and stuff, it's like
that's exactly how it is.
How far apart will they be?
2 years.
Okay, so that's exactly how mine are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly how it is. So my oldest is like very much introvert. She's got like 2 friends and that's it. She doesn't want any more. And my youngest is like best friends with a rock, literally not a rock, but somebody was visiting. So our neighbors next door have like teenagers, so they're older, but they had family in town visiting with a young daughter that was about her age. She was here for 2 days. They played twice. This morning, my 6-year-old cried because they went back home, and she was so sad that her new friend was gone. I was like,
that is my oldest.
For 2 days, honey.
That is my oldest.
That's so sweet.
Devastation.
My oldest is very pure, and he will make friends with anybody in any situation. And Charlotte takes a little bit longer. But I mean, if you ask her who her best friend is, she says me.
Oh, so cute.
I mean, I joke that she would go back inside me if she could, and I truly think she would.
Yeah.
I mean, she literally every night puts her hands on my face and says, "I'm never leaving you."
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "I'm never leaving you," and I was like, "Okay."
It's like so sweet and so terrifying at the same time.
The other morning,
please no.
The other morning, she and I were laying on the couch, and she was like, "I love you more than Daddy," and she's never.
We love the realness.
She's never said it out loud, and I was like, I mean, we all knew.
We all know.
Yeah. We know.
This wasn't a surprise to anybody.
Keep that an inside thought, but we know. Yeah.
I mean, thankfully he wasn't there, but I did tell him later. He was like, I mean,
we know.
Yeah. I get it. Lainey would totally pick my husband over me, my oldest. She'd be like, "Nah, I want to hang out with Dad, not you." And she will frequently, when she's upset, call for him and not me. And I'm like, I'm just trying to help you
Liam
here.
only calls for Andrew. And this morning I was walking Liam to school, and I was like, "Isn't it fun walking to school with Mom?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Would you rather be walking to school with Dad?" He's like, "I know, you're fine."
You're fine. It's fine.
I was like, I'm carrying your backpack that's weighted down with every book you own because
you got to return them back. School. Yeah.
No, these are his books.
Why is
he likes to have choices. Okay, Liam is a mood reader. Okay,
they don't have a classroom library for him to pick from.
They do. He just wants his books. He's like
Rory Gilmore.
Yeah.
But like, to be fair, I think I was like that in elementary school. I was always bringing like a Babysitter's Club or Goosebumps book from home. I was not depending on the classroom library.
I was a library kid. I was like, I need the library. Take me to the library.
Should we do some 1s and 5s?
Let's. Neely, would you like to go first?
Sure. My 5-star... Okay, I don't really feel like any of these are necessarily like super high highs or low lows. These are just things. So they're just things.
There's things that have happened.
But this is like a higher rated thing. So we had a costume party this weekend that we went to, a theme party, if you will. It was road trip through the decades. So it was each house was a different theme, and one house was 80s, one was 90s, one was 2000s.
Like a progressive dinner type thing?
Well, yes, it was more progressive drinking. And if you've been following along my journey of not drinking, I drank this weekend. Yeah. And as my husband liked to say, I either don't drink at all or I drink everything. I have no medium.
No in between.
And so, I had
that's the ADHD.
Noons. Yeah, I had some high noons, and I was like, okay, like high noons are easy. Like, we're gonna be chill vibes. We're gonna have some high noons. Not gonna get too rowdy. And they busted out Jello syringes, and I was like,
"Oh no!
Oh, that sounds fun." Y'all. And I did like 5, and I did more than 5, but I did 5 like immediately. But some were vodka and some were tequila, and I was just mixing them up. Like,
oh my God, what is wrong with you?
Like, I'm not 41 and know better.
Yeah,
okay,
seriously.
So the good news is, at the second house, there was Mexican food catered, and I ate a lot, and was like, okay, good. Except, and I'm about to embarrass myself for the whole podcast world. Some people know this story already that are in my life. Rachel doesn't, and wait, did I tell you this story?
I don't know. I don't know what story you're about to.
I don't think I texted it to you. Okay, but I purposely am waiting because I need to see Rachel's reaction to this. So after all these Jello shots at the second house, I'm like looking through what I thought was the cooler for a high noon. What I thought was the cooler. I was a trash can.
You should grab one.
I didn't.
You're like this. They're all empty. This is so weird.
What is happening here? And so
did the trash can look like a cooler?
Rachel, I was so drunk.
No fucking kidding.
It was. I don't know. And then the third house, was 2000s, and by the way, there was a DJ that went to each of these houses with us. So like the DJ followed you. Oh, yeah, it was fun. Third house had a dance floor. The other houses we were just dancing in like the driveway and stuff. But at the third house they had pizza rolls, and I'm pretty sure that's what saved my life. Is I just like inhaled pizza rolls, and I really wasn't. I had like a little bit of a headache the next morning, but I went to bar. Like I wasn't like crazy hungover. We also went home at 10.
I would still be dead.
So this party started at 5 p.m. So we were home by like 10. Some people stayed out way later. We came home at 10. And I went to sleep. I slept like 9 hours. Like I chugged
I'm very impressed.
7 gallons of water and took some Zofran before bed. So I think that helped.
There you go. That'll do it.
And so I really wasn't even like bad the next day. I just, going back to like why I really wasn't drinking. If I drink anything, even one drink, I just feel sluggish and slow, and I don't like that feeling at all. I also don't like the feeling of being so drunk that I dig through a trash can looking for a drink.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Thankfully, other people did embarrassing things too that night, so it like kind of evened out.
Yeah.
And
what theme did you wear?
I'll show y'all. I wore 2000s, and it was the best. I wore a Juicy Couture like tube top dress thing over jeans. So this is the outfit.
Stop.
It's Andrew in the Von Dutch hat for me.
Yeah. And does he have layered
he
polos
has two
on?
collars with cargo shorts and a puka shell necklace. Also.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything eBay and Amazon. So
very impressed.
But
I love it.
People had some like really good outfits. One of my friends dressed in as Cher from Clueless in like the yellow
I love it.
plaid outfit, like perfectly backpack, purse, everything. A lot of people did like 80s workout vibes. There was a lot of Juicy Couture tracksuits. It was really fun. I don't really have a full 1-star because I don't consider appreciating teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week a 1-star. I just feel very stressed by like the amount of Maycember stuff like coming at me and every other mom. And what I keep trying to wrap my head around is why they would put Mother's Day in May. Like,
that was a poor thought.
Put Mother's Day.
I wonder when Mother's Day originated. I wonder, because that's like got to be like a Hallmark thing, right?
I'm sure, but I'm just like, why would we put it in May?
Yeah,
like it's too. Can we change it? Like, I feel like moms don't even want it in May anymore. Everyone's like, this isn't the time for that. Like, I can't feel relaxed right now. I have too much end of the year crafts to do and field days and all the things.
I was telling Brian the other day about how y'all don't do any family, like extended family stuff on Mother's Day and Father's Day, and how I think we're going to have to adopt that next year because it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
But that's it. I just feel exhausted. I haven't slept well this week. So I'm tired.
Yeah. Chelsea, do you have any 1s and 5s, 1-star, 5-star moments from the week?
Great question. I'm going to say my 1-star. My son is a super late walker, and he finally started walking a couple months ago, which is great. But he just falls and hurts himself constantly. And he's also like at that perfect age where any little thing becomes a full-blown tantrum, like after a little bit. So that has been an unpleasant side effect, as happy as we are that he is finally moving.
Yep.
And I think for a 5-star, I am working on my next project, and I made some really, really good progress on it this week and got some great feedback from people in the book community that I've been surveying. So I'm excited to like kind of get into the next big part. I'm going to start recipe testing for it this week. So I'm really excited about that. Creative juices are flowing.
I love when that happens. We are going to talk about the next project a little bit on the Patreon. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, we will be talking more about that later. But yeah, I'm excited to hear. Well, first of all, I'm excited to hear about how this project came about, A Feast of Thorns and Roses, and then next project as well.
Yes, so many things.
Okay, my 5-star, I had so Chelsea, I host grown-up book fairs around DFW, like our area. And we had one on Sunday, and it was a blast. It was so much fun. And just like the biggest one we've had yet, the most, I feel like, just most successful one we've had, which was awesome. We did it outside. So we host them at breweries. And so it's fun because we get to you get to go be at the brewery, like grab an adult beverage and then like shop around for book people. And then like what I call book adjacent vendors. So you're just like things that book people like. But we had a crazy day and I was so nervous because this one was fully outside because this venue was huge, but it was like all like outdoor space. And I was terrified. I kept telling people like the sexual tension between me and the weather app for the like 10-day forecast was all time high because I from 10 days out was like monitoring, and we had torrential downpour rain in Texas for 8 days leading up to the book fair. And then Saturday and Sunday were beautiful and perfect. And then Monday and Tuesday, yesterday, rained terribly. So I'm like,
Oh my God.
We had 2 days wild in the middle of that chaos that just was
pocket.
Perfect. And I don't know if I will be doing an outdoor one again anytime soon, because I was so stressed. I was having like stress. I mean, like I said, I used to be a teacher, so I was having like stress teacher dreams that I haven't had in a while. I was like, oh God, this is bad. I'm like so stressed out. So it was successful. It was good. We didn't have to cancel it due to rain. I feel like I can finally breathe. So that's my 5-star.
Pesky rain. See, in Oregon, we're just like, we know it's going to happen. So
yes.
We have to have the tents ready and everything.
It happens a lot here this time of year, but I don't know if it's like this year has seemed more.
We have had more. Like, it has definitely been a really rainy spring.
For context,
I feel like
every time the soccer fields get too wet, my daughter's soccer games get canceled, and we haven't had a soccer game in 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been so rainy. And I kind of had the thought in my head that like by the beginning of May, we'd kind of be past it. Cause I feel like that's usually, I feel like we very much fall into like the April showers thing. Like we get a bunch of rain in April, but then by May we're pretty good to go. And it was just like, I was so worried that it was going to be pouring, and it would have been fine. We would have figured it out. We had a rain out date. Like it would have been fine, but I just did not.
Not ideal.
No, I did not want to have to deal with that. So, so glad that is done and was great. Was a great day. So that's my 5-star. I think my 1-star, I can only blame past Rachel for procrastinating, drafting my book that I'm currently working on. And it's due, I have to have it done by next Friday. So I am like that's all I do right now is like try and come up with words, but I really don't like that. Like that is not how I creatively process. Like I don't like to write in such a time crunch. I try to give myself a really big lead up on projects so that I can like sit and marinate on things when I want to. Cause I feel like that's just a lot of how my creativity flows, and I don't have the time to do that right now. And so it has just been like, my eyes twitching for everybody who cannot see me, which is all of you. But yeah, it'll be fine. I just told Brian this morning, I was like, I'm just really mad at myself because this is all so like I have nobody to blame except for myself for this.
I understand.
Yeah. So that's my 1-star. I think it's going to like, we're going to get past next week and it's going to happen and it's going to be fine. But I am and then I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to get on a plane, go to Florida. It's going to be great. But right now I kind of want to stab my eye out. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Florida's the reward.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Neely, you're reading something right now. What are you reading?
I am. I started, because Elizabeth O'Rourke sent me an ARC, and I started My Favorite Bad Decision by Elizabeth O'Rourke. So it's that one. It's like the sisters ex, and they're on the Mount Kilimanjaro.
Oh, yeah. The one she told us about. Yeah.
Yes.
We just had Elizabeth on the podcast a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and she was so sweet. But this book she was describing sounded really interesting. So I'm glad that you're reading it.
I know. She sent it to me, and I was like, okay,
I'll do that.
Hop on board.
Yeah. So. Chelsea, do you have anything you're currently reading?
Yes, I am listening to When the Moon Hatched, which to be honest, I'm like having a little trouble. I was very excited about it and I'm having a little bit of trouble, but I'm just sticking through. I'm only like a third of the way through. So I'm like, okay, we'll get there. It's just like a lot, fire hose of world building.
Yes. And it's the first in a series, right?
It has to be. I'm actually not positive. I kind of just like blindly was like, I keep seeing this. Let's read it.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So I imagine it has to be. So it's a lot. And then I'm reading, I just started it, Bringing Down the Duke, which has been very cute so far. So we'll see. Hopefully it's a good, cute read.
That's Evie Dunmore, right?
Yes.
Yes. I loved that series. That was a great series.
Good. Yeah. I loved historical fiction back in the day. Like I was the other Boleyn Girl was kind of my first tiptoe into that, and I like got obsessed with all of Philippa Gregory's books, and I hadn't read historical fiction in forever, and I was at a local romance shop, and I was like, what should I read? And they recommended that, so I'm excited.
I fell down a historical romance after Bridgerton, as I feel like many people did, and that was one of the ones that I read, that series, and I loved it. So I am still reading because I'm also writing. I'm reading my book is what I'm doing. But I am still reading don't want to botch the name. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, which is out sometime this summer. I should look that up. And I'm loving it. I'm like 60% of the way through. It is a Dramini fanfic that is being turned into a traditional published book, and it was one of my favorite fanfics that I read several years ago, and I'm loving reliving it in a different kind of world. It's been so fun. So I really like it. It is very British. It is very like almost like I'd almost equate it to like Spamalot type comedy, like just very
slapstick,
very slapstick, very witty, very smart writing. So I am having a great time with it. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. Okay, Chelsea, we're going to dive into the interview. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. The question we always start with is tell us your villain origin story, which is basically just how you got here today.
Yeah. Okay, so like how far back do people
start wherever go? You want? You can start wherever you want. Yeah,
there you go.
The day you were born. Yeah.
I'll start with like how I got into food things. I think like my husband and I talk about this because he's a high school teacher. And he teaches, kids that are getting ready to go to college. And I'm like, how on earth is an 18-year-old supposed to be like, this is my major. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my, it's like,
it's
wild
stupid.
thing. Yeah, it's so
dumb. Wild. Yeah.
And I went to college thinking like, I want to do elementary ed. And while
Same.
I was in, right?
Same, actually.
Yeah.
Common one, I think.
Yeah. It's because they're like, I don't know what to do. I just had, 12 years kids. Of teachers. Like, I guess I'll be a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Which is funny because my husband never would have thought he would be a teacher, and now he's a teacher. So
I think a lot of us are also like, ooh, summer's off. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
Until you live it, and then you're like, never mind.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And so I actually worked for like the brain development lab while I was in school. I went to the University of Oregon, and while I was there, I started my food blog called A Duck 7, which is for the Oregon Ducks. Yes.
Wow, you put them in the oven?
Well,
I don't know how they feel about that.
My husband, then boyfriend, actually named it. It was supposed to be a play on Dutch oven. Yes. And, fell in love with like cooking and food and like started exploring that more. And then I was like, well, wait, so if I like cooking, that must mean I want to open a restaurant. Another naive young person thing. And so after college, my husband got a job in Portland. And so we're like, okay, we're going to move back to Portland. I'll find a job working in restaurants so I can like learn the ropes. Did that, worked as a manager in restaurants for years and was like, oh my God, this is awful. I never want to do this again.
Yeah.
And we moved to South Africa for a year so my husband could get his master's in politics. So it was like a weird, cool left turn. Yeah. We were 23 and we got like legally married before we went so I could go with him. And then had a wedding when we got home. Yeah, it was very fun. Yeah. And while I was there, I was like, okay, I am going to just work on my food blog. And then I did a lot of like freelance food marketing and I loved it. And I was like, okay, this actually feels like a good fit. Like we're getting there. And so when I got home, I kind of dove into the marketing aspect of things and started working in food marketing. I worked for a restaurant group for a long time. I worked for like a seafood startup. And then I worked for a sous vide company, which I got that job because of my first two cookbooks, which were about sous vide cooking. And
okay, can I pause you really quick? Because for the layman, what is food marketing?
Okay, so that's just like...
And sous vide, you can go into that later. But
yeah, I was working in marketing, but I specifically worked with food companies. And so like the seafood startup, the restaurant, sous vide is a small home kitchen appliance.
Yeah.
We have one.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Oh, my husband is the cook in the house.
So is mine.
Couldn't tell you anything about it, but I know we have one.
But we have one. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, it's great for meat. Like, it's honestly like more commonly a guy gadget, which was my whole like bent getting into the space. I'm like, I'm going to make sous vide more accessible for home cooks who are largely women. And like, if you like search sous vide cookbooks, they're all these like dark, masculine, like looking things, and I'm like, mine are going to be hot pink. So that's the direction we're going here. Totally fell in love with that. And then in 2021 I started working for myself full-time, doing a lot of like freelance work, running my food blog, and then working on my cookbooks. And then, you know, around that time picked up ACOTAR, as I think so many of us did.
Yeah.
And
like
was
that
like
post-pandemic like escapism.
Totally. Yes. Yeah. And totally fell in love with the books. Like, and anyone will have this like same origin story, but it totally reignited my love of reading. I feel like since like the days of like Hunger Games and stuff like that, I had read like thrillers and kind of just like popcorn books that I forgot about a week later. And then ACOTAR was the first time in so long that I'd read something so immersive, where I fell in love with the characters, and it was just a different type of reading that I hadn't experienced in so long. And I reread it again a little bit later, and then coming off of that reread, I was 6 months pregnant with my son, and I saw a friend or my cousin post on Facebook about her Sims cookbook, and I was like, The Sims, like the computer game? Why is there a Sims cookbook? What is this? And there's totally a Sims cookbook, and it took me down this rabbit hole, and there's like cookbooks for everything. There's like Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. Like, I had no idea about I'm sure there's an Avatar cookbook.
I had no idea.
Yeah, there's like all these fan cookbooks, and I was like, this is really interesting. And it's like, there's even like a Stranger Things cookbook. And I was like, while, you know, I'm sure all of these sell well because it's exciting fan merch, I think the overlap between somebody who wants a cookbook and who is obsessed with Game of Thrones, like there's overlap there, but it's not huge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't see an ACOTAR cookbook, and the audience for people who buy cookbooks and like ACOTAR, there's a lot of crossover
much
there.
More crossover there than
Totally. And so I was like, I feel like this could be a really good idea. I think people would be like excited about it, and to see like food that they read about brought to life. So I cold emailed an agent. My previous 2 books were self-published, and which is not how you're supposed to approach an agent. Don't be like me. I didn't know better at the time. So it was just like an acquaintance that I knew, and I was like literally a few sentences. I was like, I have an idea for this cookbook. Is it a good idea? What do you think? And again, don't do this. And she was like, yes, it's a good idea. And she's like, I know the publisher, I know the editor. I'm going to see if I can get you on the phone with them. Within a couple weeks, was on the phone with them. And within a couple months after that, right before my son was born, was signing a book deal. And that's, again, not how this usually happens. This was very backwards. And my manuscript was due when my son was 6 months old. So it was an adventure creating a cookbook with a newborn in tow. So.
Yes.
I cannot imagine.
Yeah. I want to know more about so obviously I write fiction. I know nothing. I cannot cook to save my life. I made really good pasta the other day. I was very proud of myself. I followed some random Pinterest recipe. I was really proud. And my husband came down. He was like, yeah, it was good. I was like, that's not the reaction I wanted from you, because he does all the cooking. And so anyway, how does one even go about writing a cookbook? I know there's obviously recipe creation, and then testing that out. I feel like a random person in my life who does testing for people for recipes that are writing cookbooks. So I know that there's that kind of thing that can go on too, but what is that whole process? Explain that process to us a little bit.
Yeah. So with this cookbook, it was different than than the previous cookbooks I've written, which, I mean, they all start with an outline. So I start with like, okay, what do I want the sections to be? And then I start like going through recipe concepts. And a lot of times that's like a note on my phone. Like just kind of thinking through like, oh, okay, I think this would be really good to include. And so with A Feast of Thorns and Roses, I did I re-listened. And just like anytime there was a mention of food, I wrote it down, and then I used the Kindle app on my computer and just searched for things like eat, dining room, bread, chicken, like just to comb through the book and like collect all those mentions of food. And some of them are more like iconic mentions, like the soup. Yes. And then some are like more like an aside, like they visit the Hewn City and there's like roasted pork, which you like, that's not something that necessarily sticks in your head. But I wanted to cover any like mention of food for the most part. And then from there, I started being like, okay, I made a list of like all of the main characters, and made sure that they had representation, all the courts, any like iconic moment, or like holiday. So like Starfall and Calamai and like all those mentions. And then it's like, okay, need to make sure there's something for each of these in the books. And then for there, you just start filling in holes. That's where it gets really hard, because it's like, okay, I have no idea. Then it's like, I have this main dish and I feel like it could really use a side. So let's create a side that goes well with this main. Or one thing I learned from the last book that I'm doing in this book is it's a great idea to go, and I think that the party menus are like one of my favorite parts of this book, like themed parties. And so come up with the themed party ideas and then make sure that feels like complete, like add in any recipes that you feel like need something there. And so then from there it's working with recipe testers, and people take different approaches with recipe testers. I like to use my audience, like my target audience for the book, as my testers. So people who are not necessarily super experienced cooks, and who they just like were really into the series, like for these types of books. And so they've got like fun feedback on it, and like, oh, this one really spoke to me, or like, I don't feel like this was right, I'd like to see more of this. And
how does one sign up to be a recipe tester?
I put out a call.
Great.
Yes, and I'm happy to share some links. And I love it. Yeah, it's super fun. And then I do like a private Facebook group, where I can be like, and then those people too, I have everybody sign NDAs. And I'll say, hey, I got an early look at the cover. What do we think? Or like, this is the title I'm thinking. Would love your feedback, and lots of stuff like that. Which is funny for me, which I'm sure, Rachel, you can relate to this, is always tricky, because it's receiving feedback is sometimes hard. And so you have to be able to pick out like that is someone's personal preference. Like I've worked with a tester who hated blueberries. And it's like, okay, that like just because she
How
hates
do you hate blueberries?
I would love to know. What?
She also hates bananas, so we don't even know
like
what
fruit?
to do.
I'm not a big fruit person.
I love all fruit.
I know. I think it's like, I don't know. Neither my husband or I are big fruit people, so we just don't have it. Like,
I don't like what I call filler fruit. Like, I don't like watermelon and cantaloupe, which like
I love cantaloupe.
My kids love watermelon. Like, live for watermelon. And Liam could eat an entire cantaloupe, and has in one sitting. And the same with that. What's that?
Little salt on top.
Melon.
Oh.
What's the other like
the honeydew? The green one? Yeah.
I'm like, he just likes filler fruit. I mean, he likes all fruit, but I'm like, I can't help but call it filler fruit. Because I think about when you go to like a restaurant and they like fruit comes with your food, and it's that, and like one grape and like one piece of pineapple. Pineapple's not filler fruit.
Oh, okay.
They only give you one piece.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. I never ordered the fruit bowl, so I would not know.
I'm allergic to melons, so I can't eat your filler fruit anyways.
I wish I was
okay with that.
Yeah. So no melon in any of
there actually is in A Feast of Thorns and Roses. There is a melon caprese, because it seemed like this is really interesting now that you say it. At every breakfast there was melons.
Yeah, I believe that.
So, and it's funny. When I first announced the book, I'm like, stalking all the online chatter.
Yeah.
And so many people were like, how is she making a whole cookbook about this? There's no food in the books.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do a reread because there is so much food in the book series. If you're like, half the scenes are in dining rooms.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's funny because I haven't read it, but in general, like now that I'm just thinking about random books, in general, there's food, a lot of food.
I write a shit ton of food. I am like my book one was, I had so much food. At book two, I was like, all right, I gotta not. But I don't think it's so something that people necessarily like make note of while they're reading, because that's not usually why they're reading it. Yeah,
you're not there for the food.
No, it's like it helps set the scene, the vibes. That's
literally what I was about to say. Is like you can get so much. I mean, food and culinary experiences and all of that. I mean, Chelsea, you're probably the better person to speak to this, but like sets the tone so much of a scene and of like a character and what they like and what they don't like and what's going on and, you know, what their culture is and, you know, how they're living and all that. So yeah, I feel like food is just a natural, but you don't notice it as you're reading.
And it's like even stuff like SJM does a really good job of talking about smells, which is like just kind of in that same frame. And so I use all those smell references like crazy. So like I did a dish for there's a dessert section where there's a dessert for every court. And so for like I'm trying to think of a good example. For the night court, there's a jasmine and blackberry panna cotta because it's mentioned so many times. Yeah, that Valaris smells like jasmine.
Yeah.
And then
and then you think like the autumn court, like I feel like is like they're always talking about how it's like not smoky, but like
yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And you pull that through, like spiced. Yeah, and then like Morgan is described as smelling like citrus and cinnamon, and so she has a signature cocktail that's like an orange cinnamon punch.
I'm leaving my house and going to buy this immediately. I cannot wait.
It was so fun. It's but it's the scary end of it is this fan community knows these books so well. And I was like so scared to be like, okay, this is my interpretation of these things. Hopefully, like the soup especially.
It's like it's just Campbell's, and that's it. It's just Campbell's. I think it's so kind of like what you were saying earlier too. Like it is so the feedback you get, you have to be able to take that and run it through the lens of that being just one person, and is that the way that you want it to be interpreted? Because ultimately it falls back on you. It's not going to fall back on this one person who doesn't like blueberries, you know, like, and so you have to be able to stand behind that. But it is really difficult to kind of discern what to keep and what not to keep. Yep.
And it's like, even things like, okay, so I strayed from the books a little bit in that I'm not asking anybody to go out and buy rabbit or venison. So I'm replacing those things with like nice chicken and beef. Yeah. Right? But there could be somebody who is like, well, that's not what they said. And it's like, do you really want to go try to source that? Like,
but realistically, how many people are like, I really wish there was a rabbit recipe?
Like, are you going to your local butcher and like actually getting, I don't know.
You're like rolling up
at a guy who's down the street who does great stuff, but
some rabbit back there?
No. Like
we've got some rabbits in our yard.
The epic inn scene, the one bed scene, Reese goes down to the kitchens to grab some food for them, like, and while Fair is getting settled, and he comes back up and she says, like, what did you get? And he says, it's rabbit stew if the cook's to be believed. So I have it's beef stew if the cook's to be believed in the book.
There you go.
Because, you know, just that's fine.
Yeah. And like you can sub rabbit in if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Have fun. Yeah. Have fun with that. Yeah. Well, my husband and I both read, so I read the series once through, and then we read it together once through, and so I'm going to get this cookbook and I'm going to bring it to him. I'm just going to slide it across the counter and be like,
here's your project.
Yeah, here you go. Yep. He's in the food industry as well, and so he will probably look at like the title of your recipe and be like, all right, I got this.
Perfect.
And
great.
Just like make something up. So
great. I love it.
Can't guarantee that it'll be true to what you put, but
you know what? Close enough.
It'll have similar vibes. He'll like look at the ingredient list and be like, okay, and then just like make something. I'm like, this is not what the picture looks like.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of talked about this already, but you are obviously a fiction reader as well. Is fantasy, romantasy, is that kind of your wheelhouse, or what's your favorite genre to read?
That's I would say romantasy and thrillers like are kind of my bread and butter. And then I'll do like kind of the big book club, like the big book everybody reads that year or whatever as well. But that's usually like not my most exciting read of the year.
No.
Like, did you read Where the Crawdads Sing? Which I bring up a lot as an example.
I was going to say, Neely has got a beef with that
I
book.
have a beef with both. No pun intended. I have a beef with that book and that movie. I thought the book was so bad. And it was one of those things where like all I had seen was like praise and praise for this book. And I'm like, oh, well, I have to read it. And I was like, no, I couldn't.
It's a Reese pick.
Yeah. I felt more like that was fine. Like, I don't know, like why are we so excited about it? Like, it was fine.
To me, like, I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's first books. And so when Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo came out and Daisy Jones, and people were like, oh my God. And I'm like they're okay, but they're not like,
we're not, why are we losing our minds?
I think it's interesting, like, and I wonder sometimes if people really love these books or if they just like want to be a part of the fact that other people love these books. And so then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, okay, but like, did you really love it?
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Or do you just feel like you should?
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I'm with you. I like loved Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, but I don't feel like that was that huge of a book.
I've heard really good things about it, though.
Yeah, I did love it. It was funny. My husband is a lit teacher, and he was like, I want to teach for my AB kids. I want to teach a book that incorporates technology, and I'm having trouble like thinking of something and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, and I'm like, well, what about like Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow? And he goes, I need like good literature. I'm like, sorry. Not because he was dissing the book, but because he's used to me reading like smut and romantasy and like blah blah blah, and he's like, I don't know if I can take recommendations from you. And I'm
you're like, is that appropriate for a high school class?
And I'm like, I understand your reaction, but this is like, I promise I'm recommending a good one here. Like, my phone always connects to his CarPlay when he leaves for work in the morning. He's like, what the hell are you listening to? And I'm like, don't worry, just go to work. It's fine.
Yeah, you don't need to know. You don't need to know.
Yep.
Okay, tell us. I'm sorry, I'm circling back to the book because I need to know what is, and maybe this is maybe like choosing a favorite child, but what's your favorite recipe that's in the book? Or tell us about maybe one or two that you just are obsessed with that came together maybe in a way that you hadn't expected or something like that.
Yeah. So I have two that I always like think of. And so one is when I was creating the all the dessert recipes for each of the courts. So for some of them, that's easy, like the night court, easy. I did something for the night court and then something for the court of nightmares. So it's technically 8 desserts in the 7 court section. And so like those were easy to come up with. Spring court, easy because we know so much about those courts. But then I'm like, the dawn court, I don't know anything. Like it's barely mentioned in the books. And so I obsessed over that one. And I actually like that dessert is one of my favorite recipes in the whole book. I was like, okay, so since I don't know very much, we're just going to kind of like take the easy road. What are dawn flavors? Like, what's a morning flavor? And so I was like, oranges are a big one, orange juice. And I did an orange tiramisu and I love that recipe. And it's been kind of a fan favorite for the people that have made it. And just like kind of a surprising one because it's different. And that one was so fun to create. I was so proud of it. Like once I got it done, I'm like, okay, I nailed this one. We can move on. Yay. And then the other big one, for Feyre's dad, I wanted to do a recipe and I did a Merchant's spiced chicken pie. So fun fact, I've actually hosted as part of like the promotion for the cookbook, I've hosted several trivia nights and one of them at the Ripped Bodice, which was like made my life fun. It was so fun. And one of my trivia questions is, what was Feyre's dad a merchant of? And it's a trick question because we are never told.
Okay, I was like, Venice?
Like,
I don't know.
Or no, like, what does he do? Spices? Does he?
I know.
weapons,
but
jewelry.
like the only thing that comes to mind, it's like
Merchant of Venice. Sorry, yes. And so that one was super fun. So I'm like, okay, for the purposes of my book, we're saying he's a merchant of spices.
Great.
And it's like it's a twist on a chicken pot pie with just like this heavily spiced chicken filling, and it's really, really. It's one of my husband's favorites in the book.
Okay, my husband loves chicken pot pie. That was like the dish that like his mom made growing up, and so I'm like, he'll love it. Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like it's a dad
delicious.
dish. It's totally
yeah. And then I tried to make all the recipes in the book. I'm like, I have a feeling the average person who buys this book isn't necessarily like a big cook. So all the recipes are very easy to prepare. And I tell you to take shortcuts throughout. So I'm like, do not make your own pie crust. Buy store-bought pie crust and don't think twice about it. Like just lots of stuff like that. So that's like a case of it. But yeah. And then I know for people listening, because this happened to me at the trivia night in Ripped Bodice, if you're like, no, he was a merchant of blah, 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 I compel you to go back. I got fact checked fully at the Ripped Bodice on that question.
You did. Yeah.
And we had a resident fact checker on site, and they confirmed. So yes, it truly is never specified.
I love that so much. You're like, no, I've got the receipts.
I did. Someone did actually get me on one question. There was somebody there like challenging me on a lot of questions, and she got me on one, and I was like, dang it. So, oh well.
Okay, kind of along the same lines, were there any recipes that were kind of left on the cutting room floor? Like did not.
That's a good question.
Make the book?
There were, I wish I could remember what they were, because I ended up like, they like to have a round number of recipes. So it's like 60, 65, 70. And my final list was 68. And so I know I cut 3 and I literally don't remember what they were. I'm going to bring the postpartum brain. So much that can be stored in there.
You're like, I'm unsure what even happened in that 6 months.
Yeah, it was wild. I was like doing most of my writing. Literally, I would breastfeed my son at like 4 a.m. and then stay up and work until he woke up for the morning, was my routine. But yeah, one that almost didn't work was in the first book, Alice, like her kind of comfort thing for Vera is she always brings her a cup of molten chocolate when she's like had a bad day or whatever, which, was most days in the beginning. And I just like I had a vision for what it was, which was like a thick hot chocolate. And I was really struggling to get the consistency right and the flavor right. And one thing that I did, which was really helpful, is when I'm at like a breaking point like that, where I'm like, I cannot get this, I'm so close. I send what I have to somebody else and I'm like, you try it. Tell me what you come up with, because I'm stuck. And so I sent it to my mom, and like one of her good friends was staying with her at the time. So they like workshopped it for me and gave me really great feedback. And I was able to nail it after that. And I'm really happy with what we ended up with. But that one almost didn't survive.
Do you think that you would always stick to cookbooks, or would you want to write anything else?
I think I'd have to stick to cookbooks, like even because these books were so much like harder is maybe not quite the right word, but like different than what I'd done previously, because the head notes, the chapter introductions, like it was more creative writing than I was used to be like, okay, this is the recipe. Here's why it's in here. Here's how it's tied to the book and the characters. And it was so much work. So the idea of writing an entire like fiction book, I don't know how you people do it.
Do you think that you would write more similar type cookbooks, like from other books or from other ACOTAR books or just from other series?
Happily. Like I loved this so much. I want to make a career out of it.
Good.
It's so fun. And like so one, it was so fun to write the book and like create it. And then 2, the promotion of the book was a blast. Like I love, my background's in marketing, so that was really fun for me. But like I threw a launch party here in Portland and I was so nervous because it was ticketed. And I was like, are people going to buy tickets to this? I don't know. And it sold out so fast. And I was like, okay. Yes. And just like getting to, and like I had food vendors, like, the drill, like, or not food vendors, like book vendors related there. And like, the whole menu that we served bites, and it was all recipes from the book. And it was like so fun to get to talk to people. And I wasn't a part of the book community at all before this. Like I read books, but and like was on Book Talk, like watch and Bookstagram, but I was not involved. And since then I've become so involved, and I love this community, and it's fun to have like a foot in food and in books. And so I hope to do a lot more. And I think it would be fun too to even do like, if there was a TV series that felt appropriate, or like there's Bridgerton cookbooks and they're amazing. And, you know, just kind of see how that, which Bridgerton's also a book series because I've read it, but
yeah. No, I love that. I think that that is such a cool like segment of the market. And like, it's kind of like what I talk about with like book adjacent, right? Like, so I've got like my people that are book people, but then like book adjacent people. And I feel like cooking and like home cooking, baking, like all that kind of stuff is very much book adjacent, like good tea, like that kind of thing. Like anything that you're doing, that you're experiencing maybe while you're reading, like is book adjacent, and book people love that. They will show up. They will show
it.
Yes.
I know I would love to see, which I heard about one that it's coming out, and of course I can't remember the name, like even more like romance books that just involve food more, like are maybe centered around a character who is a chef or who just like really likes to cook or something like that. I think that would be really fun. But maybe I'll partner with somebody and I'll say, I'll develop the recipes for you. You write the book.
That'd be so fun.
We'll make a companion cookbook.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So I did so I had a bunch of food in book 1, and then I did a holiday novella that was kind of like book 1.5 set around Christmas time. There's a lot of like cooking together that they do in the novella. And my editor was like, you should do recipes like for the book. And I was like, girl, I don't know how to cook any of this shit. Like,
I'm making this up as I go.
Like, I know what it is and I have eaten it, but I could not make it. I was like, you do not want me writing a recipe.
That's where someone like me comes in. Yes, I'll help you with that.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't feel like I can just go online and like put some like with like goodrecipes.com or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Like you just go Google and pick one that looks good to you.
Yeah, there you go. Just tell the reader that. Yeah.
I was like, I cannot write that.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay. Any advice for aspiring maybe cookbook authors? We usually do like aspiring authors, but since you are a cookbook author, aspiring cookbook authors.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you ask. My first 2 cookbooks were self-published, and I teach food bloggers how to self-publish their own cookbooks. So today I'm actually teaching a live class to that group of people.
Love it.
So I am full of advice for them. I think, similar to trad publish or to fiction, exploring like the routes of trad publishing versus self-publishing are really great. Just because this most recent book was trad published, I fully plan on self-publishing again, and there are lots of merits to either route. I think first, like with cookbooks, cooking can feel very personal. A lot of times we get into cooking because of a family member or something like that, and that is wonderful and beautiful, but you need to make sure that there's an audience to support whatever it is you want to write about.
Right.
And then it, just like other books, it is such a saturated market, and making sure that you have something that can stand out.
Yeah.
And that could be, you've built this huge platform, so people are going to be excited to buy your cookbook. Or it can be I am going to write an entire book about vegan cookies, and it's specific enough that it's going to find an audience or something like that. And then from there, going forward and exploring whether self or traditional publishing might be the right route for you. I always tell people, if creative control is important to you, seriously look at self-publishing, because you get very little when you try to publish. And if distribution is like, if you think you have a topic that is going to appeal to a very, very wide audience, which for me, I hope this would be the case with A Feast of Thorns and Roses. So I knew that trad publishing would be the right route for this book, because distribution was so important. Which that's paid off. I got an exclusive edition at Barnes and Noble, which is beautiful. It has a special cover and like special menus and things like that. So
okay, maybe that's where I'm going after this.
There you go. And so just making sure that you really explore both options, and then knowing if you are, another great thing about self-publishing, it's going to be ready. It's going to be out there fast.
Yes.
So pretty much as soon as you're done with the book, you can publish it. With trad publishing, it's going to take literally years and years and years, because it's going to take you years to sell, probably a year to sell the book, and then it's going to take 2 years working with the publisher to create the book.
Yeah.
So lots of things to consider, but I say go for it if you've got an idea that just keeps tickling at the back of your head and make it happen.
Okay, because I know that this is different from kind of the world of fiction. Do you have to, when you're going out there, like trying to sell, it might be different now that you've already kind of put one out there in the world for people to have and see what it looks like. But when you're going, because like I would have to turn in a completed manuscript to an agent. But is that how it looks for, like, do you have to have the cookbook done in order to like start looking for people, or just more like the concept?
So when you approach an agent, you're supposed to have a proposal.
Okay.
And so actually my agent, Sally Eckes with the Eckes Group, has great resources on how to create a proposal if anybody's curious. But a proposal is like typically just this massive document that outlines like your comps, your marketing plans. It has usually a full outline of the cookbook and several sample recipes, photography style, lots of stuff like that, which sounds cumbersome, but it is such a useful document once you're creating the book. Yeah, because you've already done all that legwork.
It's there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so then when you are, which I'm sure this is similar with fiction, you first have to sell that proposal to an agent, and then you have to the agent sells that to a publishing house. But you don't need to have your book completely done. If you do, great, but no, it's going to go through a little more work with an editor and an agent and all that stuff. But yeah, you don't have to for cookbooks.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. All right. We always end the interview with kind of a have to read book that you are always recommending to people. So that can be a cookbook, that can be fiction, that can be nonfiction, whatever, something that you are always recommending to people.
That is a great question. Okay. I think I might have to do two, if that's okay. So for cookbook, I'm going to say Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. It's a great one that helps you understand cooking better. And so it's like there's recipes in it, but it also is a great explainer book. And Samin Nosrat is the author, and she's incredible. She has a TV show of the same name on Netflix. So I highly recommend that book. And then for like a fiction read, oh gosh, it's like so hard to choose just one. We've already talked about it, but I think it's just stuck in my craw right now. I'm going to say Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow again. I really enjoyed it and just thought it was incredible. So, and a little break from what I usually read, maybe that's part of it.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. The next thing we do is a rapid fire this or that. So we're going to give you 4 questions, this or that, rapid fire as fast as you can. Ready? Okay. Neely, do you want to go first or do you want me to?
Yep. I will go first. Okay. Perfect. Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Aperol Spritz or espresso martini?
Aperol Spritz.
Cooking for a big dinner party with friends or just you and the husband?
Me and the husband.
You're like,
dinner parties stress me out. Done a lot recently.
And this is a very smut show specific question. It's a pick your praise. Okay, so good girl or look at me?
Good girl.
Yay!
Oh, that's Neely's.
It's been a while.
Yeah. It's been a while since somebody's picked Neely's. Yeah. There you go.
It's been a minute.
I need constant words of validation. So yeah.
Listen, I get it. I like head pats. So I want my gold star.
I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
I always want to hear that I'm doing a good job. Okay. Well, now it's your turn to pour yourself out. So where can people find you?
You can find me on all social platforms at Chel, CHEL.SEA Cole, COLE. My website is aducksoven.com. You can find the book anywhere books are sold, A Feast of Thorns and Roses, but you can get the exclusive edition at Barnes & Noble, which has like a gorgeous cover, extra recipes, all that good stuff. But you can also find it at a lot of indies, so make sure to check bookshop.org and ask your local romance indie because it's carried pretty widely amongst them. So
yeah, I love that. Can y'all hear the tornado siren going off in my... Oh, okay. They're doing a test. They test it on the first Wednesday
again?
of the month. No. It's a test. But I can hear it going off, so I didn't know if that was picking up. I know. I'm like, no, this is the first nice day that we've had.
I'm like, I can't. It will send me over the edge.
Okay, you can find us everywhere at Smut Show Podcast, and you can find me everywhere at Rachel_M Lewis. Neely, where can people find you?
You can find me everywhere at Neelykins, except for TikTok, where I'm Neely Moldovan.
And Chelsea, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This was a really fun episode. So thank you for being here.
I am not a big cook, but now I kind of want to be.
I know.
No, do it.
Yeah.
I'll support you the whole way.
Oh,
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And if you are a Patreon subscriber, we're about to record a Patreon episode, so we'll get more, which I'll see here in a minute. But everybody else, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.